Hello and welcome to another dramatic reading by me, Anzine84. Today we're doing the second part of Super Sentai vs Power Rangers tribute to Maskman entitled Double Takaru. As I said last time, it's a lazy title. Anyway, last time the bad guys travelled back to Maskman land with a plan to reawaken the Shinkenja villains 22 years early, and to do so required them to kidnap Red Mask and then brainwash him into joining them. Emma's an evil minion who Shinken Red had to fight for reasons, because basically the author based the whole plot on the fact that Shinkenja and Maskman both have Red Rangers named Takaru. I pointed out how dumb it was there, so I won't do it again. Anyway, let's begin. Chapter 24, Double Takaru. In the last episode, Red Mask has become Ghetto Red Mask, much to the dismay of his teammates. Everybody's trying to reach out to him, only to discover his mind has been blocked. Okay, how do they reach out with it? What way do they reach out that they can discover mental blocks? Shinken Red tried to reason out, some reason as well, but failed. He was beaten as well. Taku! No! Shouted Mako, who also defeated previously, which didn't happen on screen, so great fight, guys. Shinken Red diverted back to Takushiba, weakened. Sorry, guys. I tried, said Takushiba in his frustration. The rest of the masked men were also knocked down, but Momoko stood firm, motivated to free Ghetto Rust Mask from his curse. Perhaps they were meant to be for each other in the end. Based off this one incident, and I doubt it. Taku, open your eyes now, it's me, Momoko. Don't you remember me? Taku, snap out of it, said Pink Mask. Pink Mask dehinged into her own wrist. She was once again Momoko, standing helplessly but hoping Taku could just look straight into her eyes. He said, "Look into my eyes, Takaru. It's me, Momoko, your comrade." Ghetto Red Mask left a little bit of a daze. In his mind, he was like a little child reciting the name Momoko. He stood still for a while Samurai Dobro attacked. But his dark side, especially from his childhood at service. He chose to reference that of all things. The reference is an episode of Maskman where Taku exclaims that he was always a well-behaved model student, and then they travel back in time to when he was a child and discover that he was an ill-behaved brat who struggled to fit in socially. Mostly, and then everybody rubs it in his face at the end, especially the fact that he called Haruka a grandma. An ugly old grandma. Sorry. Okay. Hey, you know, maybe I can have a little bit of fun with you, said Taxi groped Momoko. That does not sound like a thing a rambunctious child would do. Okay. Hey, what are you doing, Taku? Are you out of your mind? Taku, remember me, said Momoko. You're but a nuisance. I won't let your death be so easy, said Taxi, morphed back to becoming Ghetto Red Mask. So he detransformed? Why? I don't remember him doing that in the previous thing. Taku, please remember who you are, Momoko tearfully pleaded to Dill. I don't have friends. For messing with my mind, I get to kill you myself in any way I please, said Ghetto Red Mask. How did you decide that? Taku, said Momoko as tears fell from her eyes. Meanwhile, Kao was escorted by the other Shinkenjas via the Shiba train, which they have for some reason. Shut up. She took Satu with her just in case she needed a bodyguard. She is a capable samurai. She does not need a bodyguard. Someone to take over while she does the ceiling character. She was with Direct Sugata. It was pretty shocked they were indeed from the future. But didn't they show him the train in the last chapter? He should not be surprised. I've known your family, but I never dreamed that they would have a daughter and a shadow warrior. Why is that surprising? I mean, in birth is 50-50 in terms of assigned gender. And a shadow warrior is kind of a thing that in most samurai clans did have. I can't believe I'm talking to somebody not from this time who isn't born yet. Those are two different ways of saying the same thing, said Direct Sugata. Not much time to explain. I need you to meditate for me and the other Shinkenjas. Why can't we just meditate themselves? Maybe our last shot at them. Who's them? I need to seal that crack or Ghetto will be unleashed prematurely, said Karu. Very well then, I'll just do everything that I can to fight the force of evil, said Dr. Sugata. Karu and her forces entered the Shiba train to Mount Osure to get rid of the Ghetto crack before all Ghetto will spill out. They had to think of a battle strategy to enter the mountain. Really, because the others seemed to come and go from it in the last chapter with no trouble. So we need to quietly move into the mountain and destroy the spell that's affecting the whole of Tokyo, said Karu. What spell would that be? I guess these vassal attires will do, said Satoru. Back to Heroes, Mocha looks so pathetic, trying to reach out to Takushiba while being put in some cells they created themselves. Okay, why did they force the prisoners to build their own cells? That is evil. Caught by Nanashi, Ungas and BBD. It's BB. It's not that hard to remember, it's one syllable repeated. Soldiers, Flurious is still trapped in the chambers of Mount Osei, caught in stone, releasing much cold mist into the air. Well, these crosses will do so well. A perfect resting place for them tomorrow, said Brader, who had a fun time pointing them. Akamaru prepared his rifle squad to kill the others. Akamaru did not command the rifle squad. If anything, he opposed the idea. Oh! Now I definitely have their graves marked with their blood. This will be fun to watch, said Akamaru. Not to mention Mrs. Relegate's preferred method to kill rebellious people, said Braderan. So to lock them up, tie them to cross and then shoot them? That seems horribly inefficient. Meanwhile, Kira is going to get a little bit of payment for his services. You're sure you want me to keep one of the girls for yourself? I hope that Mako is one treacherous victim if you ask me, asked Braderan. He would not know that. He met her once and I don't really think he got a grasp for her personality back then. That ought to make her more excited with your own, just as Ial is to be my trophy. She'll do well for my treasure collection. It's fun to hold someone and they fight to be free. Okay, 1, it's then, not them, and 2, it's a common error, the author, but Kiros is not a horn dog after hot chicks. He wanted a princess because she was a princess and thus interesting. He's not just go for every girl in sight. At one point he rejected one who did have a crush on him because she wasn't interesting. Thieves, after all, don't take what is theirs. No duh, they take from others against their will, said Kiros, pointing to Mako. You may have noticed I made his voice just a lighter version of Renegades, and this is entirely intentional. Oh, okay. Mako was horrified as he was dragged by Kiros against their will, still in chains in a very horrified manner. You're a lot hotter than a girl I want to have. Debatable. The reason why you're getting spared to my because I own you now is my treasure, said Kiros as he held Mako's chin ready to spit at him. Did Kiros spit at himself? He tried to bribe her with all the gold he stole, but she refused. Okay, I won't give in to the likes of you, Kiros, said Mako. Hey, you stay away from me, you fiend, said Takushiba. Oh my god, I never tackle for a rival standing in the way of what I want. No matter, he'll die tomorrow. It'd be fun to see another Taku who's my rival, but really, what a waste, said Kiros. Why would his name be at all a reason to have a rivalry with him? Surely the fact that he's morally opposed to you or your equal in battle would be better reasons for it. Anyway, let's carry on. Taku is still under Gedo's influence. Which Taku are we talking about here? Oh, yeah, it's confusing. England's pretty messed up, not ever since Moko spoke from his very mind. And his very soul and his very being. But it would seem like the same thing. He was sharpening his sword yet he felt he should not execute Moko tomorrow. Moko's voice still kept ringing in his ears. What's the matter, Takuru? Oh, said Akumaru. That girl! I believe I know her from somewhere, said Taku. You don't know her. You're just imagining things. You do, Percy Slayer. Your mind will be clearer, said Akumaru. Finally, it was time for daybreak. At the fields below, Mako was chained by the neck, her eyes filled with tears. He saw her friends tied to the crosses, ready to be shot by the Nanashi. Taku now transformed into Gedo Shinken Red. Oh, come on, can you at least keep it consistent? Only Moko was not bound to the cross. She was to watch others die. Moko, thank you so much for your friendship, said Haruka. If I die, tell my mother I died happily, said Akira. This is happily for you? Ooh, I have to worry what your life's like. Takushi was deep breathing on his cross. He was seeing the others, Carlos, Justin Stewart and Van, all losing hope. Since he didn't mention Kenta, I imagine Genta managed to escape and is formulating a rescue plan. Well, pretty girl, you really pissed me off. I'll make your death slow and painful, said Taku and the Gedo infant. Taku, I beg you remember who you are, said Moko. Enough battle. I will torture her later. Right now it's important he stops the act of messing with my mind. I have other ways to torture her, said Taku as he transformed into Gedo Shinkenman and did an upskirt on her, causing her to scream. Taku, it is not you, said Moko. It is me now. I am with them, said Ghetto Shinken Red. Good suggestion to that Ghetto Red Mask, said Braidran. Well, at least it's correct in the dialogue. Og, Mako, farewell. I love you, said Takushiba. Mako heard these words from Takushiba. Okay. Sorry, I just clicked off the page for a second. And she had been waiting for him to say that ever since they got close, no matter how awkward or how they banged each other hard. You know, having sex before they admitted to love? What? Will she end up becoming Kyo's possession? Kyo's fondling on her Shoto phone. That's the weirdest form of porn I've ever seen, to her disgust. At the United Alliance of Evil headquarters, Renegade just finished gunning down some people for refusing to submit to him. So did he actually, by which I mean he ordered his minions to shoot them while he laughed and drank wine while listening to terrible music. The Greenhams and Aneroid are drawing their files. Files? What? Are they sharpening the nails? At a frightened prisoners. Fire! Said Tranza. The Greenhams and Aneroid began firing down some European resistance forces who had changed the crosses. Radiguet gave a smirk. Well, sire, I've done as you asked, said Tranza. Good, Tranza. I do hope you know what I do to traitors. I might gun you myself, said Radiguet. I understand, sire, said Tranza. And these traitors, I'll kill them by the numbers in painful ways. Europe is my territory now, and I won't let the Super Sentai forces take it away, said Radiguet. Just then Radiguet entered into a room. What room? And got a message from Baderan. He turned the communicator screen on. Sire, we're about to execute them. Said Baderan. Good, said Radiguet. Carry on with the execution. And I see the end of Super Sentai and Power Rangers here. Well, 3 Sentai and 2 Rangers. Okay. 8 Sentai and 2 Rangers, but yeah, you're nowhere near the end. And okay, as announced, the soldiers were prepared to fire. The other Shinkens, led by Caraver. They transformed into their fighting form. Shinken Gold moved as fast as he could to free the others from the course they were bound to. I thought I'd be dead meat already, said Kenta in relief. No wait, I'm wrong. Sorry, never mind me, I rung the bell prematurely. What? The Shinkenjas, said Akumao. Team, we could have gone to Mount Asoria immediately, but we can't lose them. Said female Shinken Red. Her name is Princess Shinken Red. Yes, I know female and princess are both ways to describe women, but still. Super character for strength, to strengthen the weakened ones. Mako broke free of Kyo's chains. She joined back with Takushiba tearfully. Taku, I thought I lost you forever, said Mako. Mako, now's not the time for that. We must fight him. Alright, be prepared to transform, said Takushiba. There stood Shinken Red, Black Space Ranger, Blue Turbo Ranger, Geki Yellow, and Shinken Pink. Honore, said Ghetto Red Mask. Okay, now I'm inclined by common sense to use the meme line. Honore Decado! Oh, drat, said Akumao. Could have been a happy execution sight. Duck, if I can't have you back nicely, I'll have to fight you, said Moko, morphed into Pink Mask in a rage. You're a Maskman did bear or a mask too, hoping to beat sense to Takaru. Oh, let it be so, pretty girl, said Ghetto Shinken Red. Meet now female Shinken Red entered with her vassals and her appointed bodyguard for now, Boken Red, went into the mountains to find where the crack was. Then I'm going to change the music slightly. He malfluted his angle arm to break free of the stone trap. There's still enough coldness as long as he lived to allow the ghetto to conquer that much hindered. Just watch out, everybody! Here comes the future ruler of the universe! Said Flurious. You're all going to hell, Flurious! Renegade, you better bow to me now! The crack was still open. Female Shinken Red was now playing with ceiling character while the other Shinken's backed remaining foot soldiers signed by the mountain. Guess this is where we should stop. Satsu, do keep guard also. The other Shinkenjas will need your leadership for me to succeed in sealing ghettos before we destroy this error, said female Shinken Red. I will, said Boken Red. Ed, who drawing his golden sword, ready for what would come. It's not his sword. He's just the primarily user of it. Because then Flurious leapt from the cavern he was locked in and attacked. He tried to stop the ceiling kite from being formed, hoping to get a promotion if he gets even one head of a ranger ahead of the others. We will meet again, Satoru. If I kill you, I'll get promoted soon enough by the United Lines of Evil for killing one who's far better than Mac Harper's back robot dweeb, said Flurious. Flurious would not do that unless he was generally chumming with Satoru. Granted, he'd probably be more fearful of Mac, seeing that the latter killed him. Don't bet on it, Flurious. Let's fight. Attack, said Boken Red, playing his stance in battle. Boken Red drew his golden sword to battle Flurious one-on-one. One blow after the other, Flurious proved himself incompetent compared to his colleagues. What colleagues? Hey, what gives, said Flurious, who's being defeated. I guess it's time to say farewell, Flurious, said Boken Red. Boken Red had the advance and performed the golden slash, effectively ending the battle and defeating Flurious. This isn't over yet, said Flurious, after which he exploded. That last line seems to indicate he's going to be resurrected at some point, but I highly doubt it. The ceiling kite is now complete, closing the crack that allowed him to open in 2009. How do you modify the ceiling kite to be that specific? Well, that's one obstacle to the United Lines of Evil. Well, two, since you got Mikoto out beforehand. Now, I hope the others are doing well, but this was an adventure, said Boken Red, looking at Flurious' charred remains. That's not how the word is properly used. It isn't anyway. I've lost where my place was. I'll just skip to this instrumental version. And back to the battlefield. Pink Mask beating V-Sense, but V isn't necessary, to Ghetto Red Mask with a fist as not to hit him severely. I didn't want to do this, Taku, but you leave me no choice whatsoever, said Pink Mask. Foolish girl, you are just hurting yourself, said Ghetto Shinken Red. After a series of beatings, Ghetto Shinken Red's mind became clear and the other Maskman released their aura power into him, purging the Ghetto forever. Well, not forever, they're going to come back in 2009. While Shinken Red's team also helped in the meditation. Where am I, said Red Mask after the spell is broken. He's back, said Pink Mask. He embraced him happily. Moeka, I got brainwashed, didn't I, said Red Mask. Sorry for having hurt you. I'd probably treat you out, but not before this battle was over. So does that mean he'd take her out? You're back with us. That's important to us, Taku, said Pink Mask. Now everyone, the roll call, said Pink Mask. Red Mask, Black Mask, Blue Mask, Yellow Mask, Pink Mask, Ikari Sentai, Maskman! With his plan, the ghetto crack was closed and the mist was dying out. No, this cannot be! Everything's going on as planned. Beyond necessary until some interference, said Brave Ram. Now it's time to finish this battle, said Angry Red Mask carrying his masky blade. Maskman and Shinken Red's team are seen beating the crap out of villains. Not these villains though, apparently. Shinken Red fought Kiros to regain her honor. Kiros, the answer for being your personal property is always no. Chill off and get lost, said Shinken Binks. He cast an even greater dusk of wind. That's not what dust means, from her fans, sending Kiros away. I guess it's time to heat things up, said Oyoba, who giving Shinken Red too much of a challenge with his blinding speed. Taku, a gust of wind will help, said Shinken Bink. Yeah, help Oyabu who defeat him, since wind makes fire stronger. She also sent a wind to knock Oyabu off balance, who was causing Getcho to Gekiello as well. How is he beating two people at once? Thanks, Mako, said Gekiello. Gekiello then challenged Fumin into battle, that to be two battle, and proved herself. How to do that? She and Yellow Mask have seen beating the crap out of many foot soldiers in battle. Now it's time for Shinken Red and Red Mask to show what they can do. They both drew their swords to defeat Samurai Dobler once and for all. When an explosion occurred in the background, them drawing the combination of Aura Power and Mojikara, and he misspelled Mojikara with a D again. Invaded Samurai Dobler. It's time you pay for all the damage you did through my body, said Red Mask. He raised burned the Aura Power around his body. Can't agree with you more, said Shinken Ed. Just realised that Samurai Doggler hasn't done much in this whole two-parter. What was the point? You think you could beat me that easily? This would be fun if two Red Rangers have the same name, said Samurai Doggler. What does the name have to do with anything in their fighting style? Both Red Mask and Shinken Red attacked their sword. Class of Modikara and Aura Power blasted out Samurai Doggler's power and armour. It's impossible, said Samurai Doba, who was now stunned. Victory, said Shinken Red and Red Mask, clapping hands together. Oh crud, I'm out of water. Oh no, said Samurai Doba, who was however too exhausted to even retreat. Cracks began to form all over his body. Get it down to finish him off, said Red Mask. Jet cannon! The jet cannon finally arrived to destroy Samurai Doba. Samurai Doba tried to resist, but he was overcome by the overpowered blast. But he was eventually defeated. Ah, impossible, said Samurai Doba as he was finally defeated. As he finally exploded, sorry. Okay, Rampa! Shouted out Igam, who was in tweet with Baraba, Oyoba, and Fumin. And okay, I think it's definitely spelled okay Lampa, but never mind. The tube retreated. It and Girls retreated somewhere until he'd be revived in the future to serve the United Lines of Evil. Way to spoil it. I'll be back, said Girls, who was planning to gain his prize side of Eow for now. Marco somehow developed an impact on him much later. This guy has no definition of spoilers, does he? Hey, anyway, let's carry on. Next up. Okay, I need to find the right song first. Okay, Okiramba finally arrived at large Samurai Dobler. And he sadly does not say his iconic catchphrase of A's, which changes every episode in the CS Central sub. Maskman called for the Great Five to fight. Now it's time for another battle. Samurai Dobler launched its laser beams. How does a medieval samurai-themed monster have laser beams? Your guess is as good as mine. Now it began drawing its sword to battle. Why does it no longer have a gender? Let's use the photo on electron riser sword, said Red Mask. Its aim is Kodenshi Riser, which is photon riser. There's no sword in the name. Aim. 2852, it's Photon Riser Sword. Oh, wait, drop the electron. To aid Samurai Dobler in duel. After a rather intense duel, which we do not get described at all, Samurai Dobler's sword style is countered. Now it's time to finish off the monster, said Red Mask. Final Aura Burst! In an instant, Samurai Dobler was finally destroyed with the Photon Riser Sword. The Maskman finally joined hands together with Shinken Red's team. Kaomio decided to join too. He was thinking they were back in human form, where they probably mutated at some point and we didn't get to see it. Just returned to Mount Asura of Satoru. Well, we did kill off one member of the United Lines of Evil. He was accorded by Kimberly Hart to have been responsible for their loss in the Goggle Fiber. He's pretty much of a pushover though, said Satoru. I don't know, he seemed to give you a better fight than Samurai Dogler gave the Maskman just now. I guess that's a little bit of a win we have, but they will intensify their efforts soon, said Takushiba. On the other hand, we've already sealed off the ghetto's portals. Won't open again until it's proper time to ensure the timeline is kept safe. New time train did come in handy, said Kao. There's still other time trains that are yet to be tested. I'm glad the Shiba time train worked, said Mako. Why'd the other time trains not work if they're built exactly identical to the regular Search Guard time train? Takushiba and Taku can be seen having a karate match. Takushiba does not know karate. Both land in a draw. Finally going to return home now, said Takushiba. I understand, you still have your future to defend. Other Taku and my worthy opponents, said Taku. Guess you people have your own brand of overpower. Turn into character power, said Taku. The heck does that even mean? I'd be interested to learn that someday. But I'm amazed to know I'm talking to somebody who hasn't been born yet. Oh yeah, so it was just... Okay. Both landed with a bow on each other. Ran and Haruka can be seen talking to at the end of their match. When did they have a match? It was nice having a match with you, Haruka, said Ran. Same to you, Ran. A ninja like me is honoured by a warrior like you, said Haruka. You're a ninja? Cool. How did that not come up at all? Maybe to meet the Hurricanes then in the future, said Ran. A ninja task force? Sounds cool, said Haruka. Only the Hurricanes? Why not the Kaku Rangers or Dinah Black? Heck, you could meet Dinah Black right now. Next two guys decided to teach the Shinkenja's meditation stances. And now I'm cutting back to the song I accidentally cued earlier. Maskman tried to imitate the Shinkenja's samurai motif with Taku failing at it. Oh well, looks like we're not meant to be samurai after all, laughed Takaru. By the way, I think Momoko should be your bride sooner or later, said Takushiba to Takaru. They've barely shown any romantic attraction. What do you think that? What but? No way, I can't digest that cooking. Besides, I'm still waiting for Derek to be united with my girlfriend Ial, said Takaru in a frightened manner. Even after he learned her name, he always referred to her as Mio. What do you say, you ungrateful rat? Said Moko, referring to Taku making fun of her cooking. Moko, duh, nobody from our side can digest your cooking at all. Why don't you ask the boys? Besides, I fainted from your dishes, said Taku. Again, this lethal chef gag of Moko is not only not at all accurate, it's not even funny. Honey, that's right, everybody panicked when Momo was cooking. Even a starving cat won't eat it, said Saku, which statement hit Chiaki. Nobody likes to eat Mako's cooking. I feel sorry for whoever eats it, said Chiaki. You always wear stomach pills when she cooks, said Kenta, with the statement hit Ryunosuke, remembering the yucky packed meal Mako once prepared for him. Oh boy, I'm glad Mako rejected me. I'll have to eat all those horrible packed lunches again. To protect Taku from all those packed lunches, said Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke referred to Taku as my lord. Oh really, I just wonder why you're not that sick, Taku, said Moko with an angry face. He chased Taku around with her fist. As admitted Moko, you can't improve your dish in a million years. Besides, you'll have a princess to look forward to and all, said Taku. Okay, so it seems that Taku Shiba just ruined any relationship these two might have, but I doubt it will. Now don't be too sure about that, Taku, said Moko, still in statement. Sometimes frustration comes after frustration and waiting for nothing. Don't get too overconfident, you and Princess Yao will be together. Okay, I'm not sure about Mako grown to depth in a relationship with Taku Shiba that he's learned to cook from him. They're all happily eating the special curry rice by Taku Shiba and Genta. Again, Genta's specialty is sushi, not curry. Heroes on board their respective time trains and into the future. Shouldn't that be returned too? And also, how come we didn't get a interact between Koto and Haruka? Haruka, missed opportunity. Meanwhile, at the United Alliance of Evil headquarters in the Sentai year 2011, Berge is once again upset for fears that brought for him. Everybody else is watching with either fear of him or desire to kill him in their hearts. The desire that none of them will act upon him is fake, unfortunately. Both Breda and Akama are kneeling before him. I can't believe it, you people screwed up what was to be a very good plan. And just my thought for show is going to be good when I have that useless excuse for a snowman killed, said Berge in anger. No, you did fuck all to that. So, I admired him in the first place, Akama. Well, Akama, I think I can less of a person since you found a good replacement for Mikoto. Plus, we did put Flurious to good use after all, said Radegate. Then Kyo stepped forward, fully revived. Aye, he had somehow managed to survive under all that rubble and his fatal wound. I thought he said he was revived. Those are two contradictory statements. Revealed that he was actually fell into Gedo. Oh, you mean he actually had actually fallen to Gedo before the cave fell in. Well, I can buy that, and like I say, Gedo means heretic. It means he has to be utterly evil. We're without their interference, but Doko refused to use them in favour of a wicked swordsman Juzo. Juzo was not Doku's swordsman. He was a wild card just like Kiros was. The only person using him was Akomaru. You know, he was the one. You met in the past, said Aradege. How did Akomaru find you in present? Kiros, how could I forget he fell into Gedo, said Akomaru. Because it wasn't established just now. I remember it must be tying in itself. Don't worry too much, said Paradon. In fact, I do forget about the Ghost Sage's weakness at times, for I'll eventually kill them in cold blood. And you've never actually killed any Ghost Sages, so the validity of that statement is questionable. Looks like I can hang out, said Kiros. An exciting new enemy and challenge intrigues me. A new Taku to kill? It'd be interesting. Whoa! said Akamaru. Apparently you're going to be his downfall, Kiros. Oh, do be quiet, Akumaro, said Kiros. Gratitude for you. This guy brought Kiros back to life, and I didn't say you're present exempt. Take this, said Radegate, then fired a bolt of energy at both Akumaro and Bradoran. Both Akumaro and Bradoran were dismissed by their master. Looks like their failures just keep piling on. His havens of rebels in my new empire will continue to increase each day, and I have to keep gunning them down in cold blood or torturing them through various means. No, you only really need to do the former. Torturing them does nothing. But looking to the dark side, I'll have more fun blasting people out and more women humiliated if I see any of them fit, said Valigane in frustration. That solo T just made him Scottish. Sometimes I wonder who should really lead this alliance. Maybe I should, said Bradoran. Honestly, you're more qualified than Valigane. Back when New Sky Base, you can see Cassie and Ashley, who had now recovered, can be seen escorted by Anders and Carlos around the base. That's an ugly centre construction. And also, where the heck are TJ and Zane? This is the best thing since our last adventure in space. You mean the one where Kendricks died? How is that cool in any way? You know, I feel kind of excited, but at the same time, the United Alliance of Evil is back, more powerful than ever, said Cassie. Alright, no, sorry, I was doing Ashley's voice, but I'll do Cassie's for Ashley, didn't I? And we'll be ready for him with this dimension's version of Power Rangers, said Ashley. Not Power Rangers, but Super Sentai, said Carlos. They're like Power Rangers to me, and they're all comrades, said Ashley. And I'll be glad to help them out as much as possible to beat out the new United Alliance of Evil. I had to agree with that statement. That's why we're teaming up with a different universe than ours, said Andros. And not only you or me, but everybody who's in the force of good will fight, said Cassie. Well, that'd probably be all can be bothered to put in, but yeah. But we'll band together nonetheless, said Carlos. Still up to Vake Atten. That was literally how he spelled it. Theyc space A-N. Women bath with regards for bitter pills they'll be swallowing along the way. Meanwhile, the rest of the Shinkens are still watching Spike, who is forced to pound more rocks and assigned to bring in more rocks. Hey guys, are you just here to discourage me from becoming a samurai? Asked Spike. Samurai won't be better than these, said Vianosuke, grabbing Spike. I don't think you. Well, let me tell you what, Spike. You're just not just qualified. It doesn't matter. You're just not qualified. How dare you try to sell bad pics about women here over the internet for money? Enough, Vianosuke, said Koto Hoa. Let's just leave him alone. I hope he learns his lesson about playing in the shop at our rooms. I guess you're right, said Vianosuke. Still wants to throw in a fist. Vianosuke was not that violent in canon, but it's glad to see that Koto is once again the more merciful one. Okay. Hey. I guess you're. Okay. Oh boy, I just want to see him do more rock pounding, said Chiaki. Can't let him go near anymore to Princess Summer, said Genta. Spike was still sore about it, like Kaoru hasn't visited for days. He expected her to since his detention. Kaoru, I win your heart, no matter what. His filled determination pounding the rocks assigned to him. Regardless of her zero interest in him. That should be lack of interest. Just the skull. Only the skull, not the bull. Visit him. Dad, said Spike. Well, I'm here to visit you, son. I know you'll learn your lesson. As your dad, I have the responsibility of making sure you learn your lesson, said Skull. Thanks, Dad, said Spike, while still pounding rocks. Okay. Back to Takushiba and Mako now getting close together despite oddities between them. Okay. Hey, well, it's all well at Lenswell. That's kind of event that got me to confess my true feelings for you, said Takushiba. Don't admit that I was just waiting for you to propose to me all along, Taku. I'm glad you finally didn't show up at Thursday to Thief Night a thing or two, said Mako. Oh, really? Since when did you really wait for my proposal, Mako, said Takushiba. Can't remember anymore, Taku. You know, I just want to live a normal life one, but don't be a boring one. So I decided to keep my samurai status with you. I guess change always happens, and the only thing that doesn't change is change, said Mako. What? That's right, said Takushiba. Guess we still have a long water fight, isn't it? Isn't it? Said Mako. When we're ready, said Takushiba. Both Takushiba and Mako ready to face their troubles. This call for drastic action, guys, said Shinkame, who drew his sword back ready to fight Ghetto Red Maskman to beat sent to him. Taku, be careful not to kill him. And he's still our ally in this battle, said Shinkame Pink. Wait, isn't Mr. the last chapter repeated again? And I take note of that, said Shinkame drawing his sword. You will fall, said Ghetto Shinkame. Violent battles about to ensue, where it must be freed Ghetto, will the United Alliance of Evil prevail? Stay tuned. Well, we just saw how that ended, but this chapter, like I said, despite the fact it's meant to be mocking, Flurious' final battle was legitimately the most epic thing in this chapter. Even more than the team-up the author was hyping between the two Takarus. Anyway, join us next time for Chapter 25, Volt's Live Show. A crossover between Joju's Sentai Live Man, Nimpu's Sentai Hurricaneza, and Power Rangers Ninja Storm. A cool idea which the author somehow manages to screw up, but what else is new?